Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at some common errors you might get when refreshing your Power BI dashboard. Now, if you work for a big company, you could be leveraging data sets that are, Excel files that you or someone else works on. It could be an SQL server. And the problem when you work for a large company, the data sources often get touched by multiple people. And they could be selfishly or just unknowingly modifying things to help with whatever they're working on without realizing that it's going to affect you who are working on your dashboard. And what typically happens is a modification happens. When you go to refresh your file, you get an error. And for people who are inexperienced, they're not really sure how to address it or even go to understand why or how it happened. So today I'm going to go through some of my top 5 most common issues that I find when I'm refreshing my dashboards. They're in no particular order. How common they happen will vary based on your company or how you guys do things, but at least with this video, you're going to get the tools to help you address the issues. And so if we jump right in, you can see in my file already, I have some errors. I'm going to just show you, for those who don't know, in Power BI, you can hit the refresh button. And what that's going to do is for any files you have that are in your dashboard, you'll hit refresh. And what it'll do is it'll refresh the connection to those tables, pulling in the latest data and information, and automatically refresh your visuals or your data sets or whatever. Okay. So if we go ahead and click that refresh button, you see we have many errors. And so we're going to tackle these one by one, and I'm going to show you how to address each and every one of them. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and right click on the first table we're leveraging and hit edit query. This is going to allow us to see the issues. And so here you go. We have a issue with a column. The column location of the table was not found. Details, location. Okay. And so if you look at the right side of the Power BI window, you're going to see all of these steps that were applied when we pulled this data in to our query. And so how the steps work is we have a source, which is in this case an Excel file. We have the navigation, which is just us going into that tab that we need the information from and selecting it. And then finally, as you can see, the header is on row 1. So a step was applied to put the headers on top. Again, we have no error here. However, now we go to change the type, which is, a column is being converted to text or a date or even a number. We get an error and it's saying column location. And so you have to understand what the data was that you pulled. In this case, location, someone went into the data and renamed it to country. Okay. So now to resolve the issue we're having with a refresh, you have 2 options. You can either go back into the source data and change country back to location, or what I recommend is to change it directly in your Power BI file. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to change type, which is the step that produces the error. We're going to go into the location column. We're going to select location and just type country and make sure you put the capital. It is case sensitive. Press enter. And there we go. We've fixed our column change where someone went and changed the column name. However, every file we have has an error. So we're going to go through the next one. File name change. Okay. So in this case, the file name was completely changed. And so where the step that's important for the file name change is the first step, which is source. And my file name was changed by someone. So you'd go in the source and you'd see in this case, what happened was someone applied underscores to it. So you can either, again, go back to your file and change the name, or as you can see here, I've got a file underscore name underscore change. So we've corrected that. And as you can see, the connection works and we can navigate through the steps. All the data is there. We are good. we've resolved the issue. Okay. Again, I always prefer to change the information in Power BI whenever someone makes these modifications. Okay. The next step is a file location change. So someone took the file and they moved it, whether they different location on their computer or on the server or whatever. So we're going to look at this one now. And again, it says it cannot find the file. We're going to look at the source, and it cannot find any file here. And so actually what happened was someone moved the file into a new folder called new_location. So what we're going to do is right before this, we're going to just type out that new location. So new_location. You can see here, I can click on new location. The file name is there. And when I typed it out, it did appear correctly. So we've now resolved this one as well. We can click on the steps to make sure everything is applying correctly. And as you can see, it does. Okay. Last thing, not the last thing, but number 4, a tab name change. So again, when you, let's say you're leveraging an Excel sheet, when you're going from the source, you have your file here, and then you can see here the name of the tab, tab_name_change. Okay. Now, if I click on navigation, this is where I get an error because it's pointing to the previous tab name, which is tab space name space change. So again, someone went in, changed the tab name. They weren't thinking, they just wanted it to be cleaner maybe for them. So what we can do is just go in and change the name to what the tab name was called. Oops, sorry, I corrected there. Okay, so tab_name_change. We see it's now seeing the information. We can scroll through and we see all the steps are applied properly. And now here, it didn't load itself, but you can see there's a red line here. And if we hit the refresh preview button, we get an error. The column ISO code of the table wasn't found. Okay. And this is because this was a column that was in our data set and someone had since removed it. Hopefully it wasn't important. If it was, you should go talk to whoever did this and give them don't give them a hard time, but let them know that this data is useful for you and they shouldn't have removed it. You should never really remove data in source files. Use Power BI to remove the columns that you need. But anyway, in this case, it was removed and your options are get that data back. However, if you don't need that information, what you can do instead is go into this column and just remove it. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the first comma, which the comma is separating the different columns. And we're going to delete everything in these little squiggly brackets. So the open and close squiggly brackets and everything in between. So we're going to do that. We'll just remove that extra space to clean it up a bit. Hit enter. And our data source is there. It's appearing on the last step. We've now modified all our queries to correct these issues. Now we're going to close and apply and see if this works. So we're hitting close and apply. We're waiting. And so this should come without any issues, but just to kind of relay what to do when you run into an error with the refresh is go into the query, find the step that is causing the problem, look at the description, and then start your troubleshooting. Most often, it's actually quite easy to resolve the issue, and it can be done quite quickly as well, as you just saw. And so these are kind of the top 5 reasons I see typically for why the refresh isn't working. Honestly, most of the time, it's just because a lot of people are touching the same file, and they don't realize how quickly it can cause errors for people in Power BI. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much.